Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching GEEKCASTER, everything sci-fi, fantasy, and pop culture commentary. I'm Seven, we've got Drew, and we've got Corey. How you guys doing today?
Doing well. Pretty cool, easy Sunday. Yourself?
Good.
Cold and rainy.
Nice. Yeah. It's one of those days. So there's so many things going on. So many rumors of shows and things coming out, and I want to jump into that. But a little piece of the conversation we had while we were setting up to do the show, Corey, we were talking about Damascus again, and just how whether it's brilliant or not, or enjoyable or not, the fascination, really, the buzz is about this. This show was scrapped. It was put on the shelf. Another company purchased the show, and now it's a hit. And you were saying that we're seeing this interesting dance of even when they're putting out shows, or should I say putting out films, and if the studios believe in it or not, doesn't matter in some ways, because you know what? If it doesn't do well, we'll quickly take it out the theaters and put it on a streaming platform.
Yeah, it kind of seems like that's the trend of it these days.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, like we were saying before, I kind of think it's all right, because if you have something that goes to the theater and it doesn't do particularly well,
Mm-hmm.
They'll just kick it out. Under normal circumstances, before streaming, that would be it. Your film would get its little run, it would do whatever it would do in the box office, and then it's out. And if it gets a theatrical or if it gets like a home release, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, whatever it was,
Mm-hmm.
that would kind of be its own thing. And some productions wouldn't even get that if it was poor enough. Nowadays, you can have something that would be created or otherwise just shelved and then left to rot.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets its heyday however much time later on a streaming platform or what have you.
Mm.
And there's still that possibility that through word of mouth and just people checking it out of their own volition that you can have something that becomes a hit after the fact. So it's I think it's a neat little I said it was like a continue, like a little extra life. If your film doesn't quite do as well as you would think in the box office or the theater, then you can still kind of get that cult following when you release it to streaming. So
I think, pretty much, I don't care. Because if it does well in the theater or if it does well on DVDs, then, I think the whole purpose of, do you have a good script? Do you have a good show?
Mm-hmm.
And if it gets put out, great. Because a lot of good shows and movies don't get put out. So we're lucky if a good one does come out. So this being one of those is just, we got lucky this time.
Yeah. And they had all the ingredients. I mean, they had a bunch of celebrities. Like Martin's on there. The original Viv, Aunt Viv, she's on there. So, yeah. So I guess for you writers, independent producers that get your big break, just because you have stars attached doesn't mean that people are going to be rooting for you. But make sure your contract, or make sure you figure out, hey, if this doesn't work, if this shelved, is there an option for someone else to pick it up? I think that's going to be important.
Become your own salesman. I mean, isn't that what happened with Stallone and Rocky and then Life of Pi? Like, there's so many examples of people not giving up on their script and it actually being a success. So just don't give up.
So speaking of using popularity, I got to do more research, but allegedly, Homelander officially joins the DC universe. Have you heard about that? Do you think this is just a media thing here?
Where was this said? Where was this said exactly?
This was on I don't want to shout them out, but this was on another geek/nerd related outlet, and I'm trying to find information on this, because if it is true That would be interesting.
This sounds more like fan fiction than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that if there's like a video game or something, if they make an Injustice 3, for example.
Okay.
Injustice has a thing where they invite other cameo characters all the time into the game as DLC.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Homelander's already in MK, wasn't he? Am I tripping?
No, he was it Mortal Kombat or I think so. I think he was in one of them.
So the Mortal
Probably
Kombat or the
Injustice.
last. Yeah,
Probably
it was either
Injustice.
Injustice or the last MK game. So he's already there. He fits into that wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
If they do when they do Injustice 3, I could see that being a vehicle for how they would make him kind of meshed with the DC universe.
Right.
Otherwise, he completely doesn't fit.
Right.
Unless you're talking about a very specific iteration of their universe, like the Absolute line, which is all metal and dark and stuff. And Homelander in the DC universe doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
He literally does not fit in their universe. And when it comes to him and their interactions with Superman, while that'd be interesting, it's not a contest.
Right.
That's not two Titans meeting. No, Superman's just going to wash Homelander and that's going to be it. It's not that big of a tease. It's not that, oh my God, such a crazy shakeup. There's two Supermen. No, it's not even close. So I don't know.
To be perfectly honest, I saw this coming. Like, it made sense. And he was on Injustice. So getting lab created superhumans is pretty much, another version of X-Men in some weird way, like there's some correlation there. Huh?
In The Boys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that is. That
Yeah,
was
so.
them combining different multiverse. Like, it's the idea that Garth Ennis, he hates superheroes. So when he wrote the comic of The Boys, he threw all that stuff in there. It's the X-Men, it's Superman, all the superhero genres type characters, he throws them in there just to make fun of them, just to make them the worst versions of themselves.
Right.
So yeah.
Which is
Another
why we love
Injustice
it.
game.
Right.
It's interesting.
Right.
I like the contrast to it, and it shows how. I was just having a conversation with someone about this. When people who are like kind of apprehensive to like The Boys, and their complaint has been often for me, they don't like Homelander. I'm like, that's the point. You're supposed to hate Homelander, but I love Superman. I'm like, you gotta let that go,
right?
Because it's the idea that he's not supposed to be a direct 1-to-1 of Superman. He's the more realistic take on Superman. If you had a kid born in Kansas with all those powers, he'd probably more likely turn out than the kid from Brightburn or Homelander than he would Clark Kent. Right. So that's people can't negotiate that. They won't gel with the character otherwise.
Right.
I think this is one of the few examples when you have a studio that has a good product that they want to continue on past the expiration of the show. So making Homelander a part of the DCU, it makes perfect sense. They can do so much more with them. So it makes sense.
Drew, you're not a fan.
I don't think it's because they're both superheroes doing superhero things. I don't think that it naturally makes sense in and of itself. But again, the conversation between Superman and Homelander right before Superman one taps him, it could be fun. But I am better. And then Superman could be like, well, that's not the point, bro. We're not just supposed to be better. We have to be better people. Right. And then that's the end of the fight. That was the whole thing. Okay. I guess.
I don't see Superman one punching Homelander.
He would. He would.
At some point.
He would. I mean, if we're talking about the comic version of Superman versus Homelander in either the comic or the live action version, he's getting one-shotted. He can one-shot him. It's not even a contest.
Right.
The only reason I'm defending Homelander is because we haven't seen his limits. Yeah, we understand he's lab-grown, but again, his potential is exponential. He could actually be stronger than Superman. We've already talked about Omni-Man in some universe being stronger than Superman. So, there's a conversation to be had.
I'd say Nolan, from what he's shown us in Invincible, Omni-Man has a better shot of being able to go toe-to-toe with Superman than Homelander could. Homelander isn't doing stuff like holding like pocket universes in the palm of his hand just for kicks. He's not doing, it's not because he hasn't been tested. And we've seen like groups of weaker suits be too much for him. When it was Soldier Boy, and this was season 3 of The Boys, Season 2, Season 3, wherever the fight was, where it was Homelander, Billy Butcher, multiple people that were jumping Homelander, he started getting washed. The minute that he's on the ground, he got scared and ran. It ain't gonna be the fight that you think is between him and Clark. I'm sorry. I'm 10 toes down on this one. I'm not even a Superman stan. But I'm like, nah, bro. Just easy. Clark has that.
I think because I see the potential. If we've gone down the Shazam route, and Shazam is nothing but a kid superhero, and Homelander is a traumatized kid with a whole bunch of superpowers. He's never really, again, like you said, been tested. They obviously jumped him psychologically, and they went after that, but they never really went after his powers. You don't really see the limits of Homelander.
He was overwhelmed in season 3. And again, I'm referring
psychologically.
No. This was physically too. When they were fighting him in that one room, they were all whooping him down. He was on the ground, and it ends with him having to fly off and flee. He had to eject. That was 2 to 3 soups at one time. One of them freshly made.
He was scared, not because he wasn't like strong enough.
My courage. If only I had the courage. I don't know. No, bro. If that was enough, that was too much for him in a physical altercation. Clark is going to punch him into space one good time, and then he's going to be. I don't want any more, dude. I'm gonna calm down. Let's talk about this. It's not.
Let him drink a bottle of milk, and then we'll see what happens.
It ain't going down. Homelander's getting dropped, bro. Homelander's going down, bro. But it could be a fun scene. Who knows?
I see where you're going with it. So, Drew, you made a comment before the show also that you're a huge fan of Jared Leto.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
30 seconds to Mars.
So,
right.
Now you know that, Ares flopped, right? It's not doing well. To put it lightly, it's not doing well. And people are getting a little nervous about him playing Skeletor.
Skeletor?
as they should.
I know it's okay, which means that they're going through with the He-Man movie, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's the rumor that he's supposed to play Skeletor.
I mean, my take on this is pretty easy. I don't care about He-Man. I don't really care about Jared Leto like that. Yeah, he is kind of. What are we? 3 for 3? Is this the third one he's dropped on us?
Morbius
was one.
Mm-hmm.
We had this latest one. Maybe I'm missing one. Is there another? Is there another flop that he's made recently?
I'm looking that up right now.
Joker. How did I miss that? Yeah, the Joker. That's what I'm thinking of. His take on the Joker sucked. I'm sorry. Meth mouth, fentanyl Joker. No, that was a flop, bro. That was crap.
He is supposed to play Skeletor. He is cast as Skeletor.
Okay. Let him. I don't care. Like if it flops, I don't care. It's He-Man. I've never cared about He-Man. All right, that'll be another one then. But I think we're 3 for 3 now. So
Morbius is decent if people actually gave it a chance. And I haven't seen Tron, but I've heard a lot of conversation about people who did like Tron. It's just people didn't really get the idea of a new Tron. So I think the marketing is what really stopped it from selling, because I had heard good reviews that people enjoyed Tron Ares. So
I'm one of the people that actually enjoyed Tron Legacy. I didn't hate it, and I thought in comparison to the first film, it was a step up. But Tron has a history as like a film franchise. It's visually appealing. The music will be interesting to awesome, and be wrapped around a really kind of lame, half-baked sci-fi angle. And this one, I like that it progressed from, we're no longer in the digital world. We're now, the digital world's coming to us. But it's supposed to be like a killing machine, genius computer program, and it's Jared Leto and just Tron gear. And that's where they lose me. I'm like, no, I don't buy it. I'm not in it. And not even 9 Inch Nails could get me. I was going to go see it in the theater, but I'm like, not even Trent Reznor could get me to go get a seat in this one and watch Jared Leto be I and Tron stuff. I'll wait for streaming. It'll be there any minute now.
Oh my goodness!
I'll watch it. I'm just waiting.
Just for it to be I.
The one thing is, I don't want to wait
man.
until streaming to be like, I should have saw this in theaters because it was visually appealing to be on a bigger screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's the kind of balance and check.
That's what they're banking on. But Tron is so visual that if you just have a decent story and great actors, you're fine. You're gonna make your money back.
Well,
like
that's
it's not
what Tron
that
is
difficult.
It's not. Well, it's not difficult, but it ain't the easiest thing in the world. Because if it was, we'd all be doing it. But Tron is not known for that. It's known for giving you like kind of a visual feast, the kind of glowing neon lines and stuff. You want to go in and see that.
Yeah, you want to see that.
That's what you see it in the theater for.
But didn't we learn from Tron, the second Tron, how you gotta keep things consistent and simple, like, because it's such a visual buffet that just keep the story going, like make it make sense. Just make it make sense.
Tron's never done that though. You can't like
the first one made sense.
Tron with that. The first one was just no. The first one was just dumb. The first one was plotless. The dude jumps into the machine to try and take the what was it? Was the guy Jeff Bridges?
Mm-hmm.
His whole plot, he breaks into the spot to basically just like rob his own stuff back. I'm like, first off, that's not how companies work. There's like paperwork and legal documents. You can't just break in, dive into your own game while they're doing a live demonstration. This is how I take my machine back, man. I'm like, no, dude. So the first one, stupid. When they get in the digital world, stupid.
When did the first one come out? 70s, 80s?
70s. I give it. Yeah, you give it a pass.
81.
It was the 70s and the 80s.
Something like that. 83.
Something like that.
I mean, I was looking at
climate. So
early 80s, the plot was garbage, but I'm like, all right, we give it a pass because of the way it was so visually different of its time, and it had this very distinct vision for what the digital world looked like. We rocked with it. Legacy came through. I think it was the better film, honestly, because it builds upon all the silly crap that we saw in the first one, and it adds some extra lore to it. There are digital versions, digital avatars of Jeff Bridges' character, Tron, and there's a whole race of them now that lives in the digital world.
Wasn't that done by Daft Punk?
And Daft Punk
the second one, yeah.
Because they did. Yeah, that's what got me to go. I'm like, yo, the soundtrack.
That was the selling point.
The game has changed. Banger. That's part of the reason why I went. And this one, it was 9 Inch Nails. I'm like, okay.
1982.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Early 80s. Was dumb. Second one came out kind of still dumb, but slightly less so because it was building on what the other one did. And the third one sounds like it could have tried, but it kind of not even jumped the shark. It's just, we're going to do some other stuff and just bring the digital stuff into our world now.
So I'm coming to the defense of Jared Leto. Is it that he as an actor is not good, or the roles he's been given are not good? Because if you want to talk about Suicide Squad, that was a mixed bag. It was a love it or hate it movie. Morbius, if you didn't know who Morbius was, people didn't know and they didn't go watch it. And the same thing with Tron. No one knows what's going on. They don't know if it's tied into the Tron series. They don't know if it's a standalone. No one really knows where this movie goes. And it just so happens that Jared Leto was a part of all three. So is he a bad actor, or is he just attached to bad products?
I'm going with the latter. He's not a bad actor. I've seen him be good in things. Requiem for a Dream, he was awesome in that one. There's this other movie he did with Jake Gyllenhaal way back in the day. I can't remember the name of it.
He was good.
That was like he was good in that one. He actually played like, an interesting character in that film. He's capable of good acting. It's just he's been attached to some really wonky projects.
He did a good job in Gucci to play the.
And then he'll do like those character biopic things. He played the guy that shot John Lennon, and he actually put on all that weight and got all weird for that role. I'm like, he's a dedicated actor. I can't badmouth him there and won't. But the projects that he picks, bro, and the characters that he portrays, and how he acts them, because his Joker was some of the worst crap I've ever seen come out of any DC. I hate his Joker.
Oh, man.
I have an idea. I'm like, you have to tell us this with damaged and la ha ha all over yourself, bro. You're no. So yeah, maybe the project. Less the actor, more the project.
So I'm excited. DareDevil. I want to see what they're going to do from here. It premieres March 4th, 2026, season 2 of DareDevil Born Again. I know, Drew, there were definitely issues with that you spoke about, and Corey and myself agreed with you 100%. I think they just didn't know how to move forward because it's Daredevil, but it's continued, but it's not really. It's Daredevil Born Again, but it's the same actors. They just weren't
That's the
sure what
mixed
to do.
bag. It's a mixed bag in that regard, I would say, because we have actors that we like.
Mm-hmm.
It's established in a version of the Marvel Cinematic stuff that we liked. It was kind of game changing when it was on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Because up until then, when it came to writing superhero stuff, it was just very safe.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have this series now that delves more into hard crime drama where you got dudes getting their heads decapitated in car doors and ninjas and all this other extra stuff that's going on. Born Again, it's playing around in that, but it's a weaker version of it, I gotta say. Compared to the other strong 3 seasons that we got, this is a weaker version of it, thanks Disney. But they can still, to add some positive to it, they can still pivot. There's second season, I say it's an opportunity for them to fix what didn't stick with the end of season 1.
Right.
There's unresolved threads that they can still delve into and fix. They can do certain things to where
fixable.
It can shift back into the Daredevil that we knew from Netflix.
Right.
So I'm not cutting it out yet. I will check it out. Daredevil's one of my all-time favorite comic book characters, so I'm gonna watch it regardless. And we shall see, I guess. We'll see what happens.
How you guys feel about that messing with our childhood?
In what way?
Because they're doing it again. The Jetsons. They're talking about doing the Jetsons.
Is it live action?
Live action and Jim Carrey.
Oh, I want to see it.
Okay. If it's, see,
Yep.
kind of, I don't know. With
You have me at Jim
in the
Carrey.
mix, I might be interested with him as George Jetson. I'm not even like a huge Jetsons guy. I watched it as a kid, sure. But it was never anything that I was like super duper like all like in on. But a live action take with Jim Carrey in it, that could be fun.
I think it could be fun. I think it'd be fun. Don't mess this up, guys. And he picks really good projects overall.
As he's gone like through, what was it, like 80s, 90s, we've gotten different tiers of Jim Carrey. As he's gotten older, he's gotten smarter at mostly at picking what projects he does. So even ones that I'm not even interested in, to be fair. The Sonic the Hedgehog thing, I haven't watched movie one of those, but apparently those are actually kind of fun.
They are great.
Him as Robotnik, he kind of crushes it. So it's like he just picks the right project.
Especially the last one. Sonic 3.
People like those. I thought it was, the idea of it was goofy, but apparently those Sonic movies are pretty good.
Coming from a Sonic fan who is not, Team Mario, it was Team Sonic ever since he first came out. I think this is the movie and series that we've all waited for that we finally got. Obviously, there was an animated series. It just never really hit. But once the first movie hit, we were like, oh, this is not what we expected. Good job, guys.
I'll probably go back after watching the Super Mario Brothers movie, which I actually really did enjoy. The last Super Mario movie was dope. I'm going to give it a shot. Video game movies are kind of they're finding their footing when it comes to their portrayals. So Sonic might not be as bad as I thought.
It's not bad at all.
I'll check it out.
All right. This is the one, Drew. I said I already know your reaction, but I got to throw it out there. You're either going to say what I think you're going to say, or you're like, all right, let's move on. But I'm going to go for it. Jenna Ortega is now going to join the Star Wars universe as a Sith.
I mean, it depends on what the idea of it is. What are they going for? What's the project?
I mean, I would like to see her in something different and not playing the same.
If she's going to be, they could go one or two ways with this. She could either go, she's going to be a Sith, but kind of already tells us what we need to know right there. She's going to be another dark, broody, monotone, goth Sith.
Right.
To which, it's Tuesday, Jenna Ortega. Now, but it depends on what they do with the character. If she's a Sith that maybe somehow becomes a Jedi. She goes from the dark, somber blacks and reds of the Sith, and then gradually becomes like a Jedi. It could be them trying to fix what they did wrong with what's her face with Ray.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the character's fault too. I always got to go back and harp on that. That wasn't
That wasn't her fault.
Daisy,
it was the writing.
That wasn't Daisy Ridley's fault. When it comes to her acting, she's not bad. She just picked the wrong project. But that project in particular was in the hands of 3 different people who had no idea what they were doing for that particular character or that franchise. So that wasn't her fault. Jenna Ortega, though, we'll have to see.
I want to see Jenna Ortega get into a lightsaber battle with a deadpan face. That would be perfect.
But that's expected. That's the problem.
That would be great.
It's expected of her. But Sith are supposed to be passionate, bro. In a fight between a Jedi and a Sith, the one that's always emoting and expressing and grunting, it's always the Sith because they're the emotional ones. They're the passionate ones.
Right. I think if we stop harping on the deadpan aspect of her being like new Aubrey Plaza, she actually can get into those deep emotional roles. So I do think if we see like a very passionate, very hurt, revengeful Sith from her, it's going to blow people away. I do see a lot of potential with that.
If they go that route, just throw in the mock like elevator pitch. Jenna Ortega plays a Sith who is on this kind of opposite trajectory with a young Jedi. She's a young Sith. There's another young Jedi who's her rival. They clash. Through subsequent clashes and whatever plot this is, they switch. Jenna Ortega gradually becomes more in line with the Jedi and the light side of the Force. The one that she's fighting against gets so wrapped up in the emotion that she becomes a Sith in herself. Mm-hmm. They could be a guy and girl. They could be 2 girls. They could be whatever the hell. But I'd like to kind of see that range because you'd force the actors to kind of go from hot to cold and vice versa.
Right.
I think it makes sense. I think that's too expected. Like what Michael has been saying.
That's Star Wars, though.
Is
right. You know, the thing is like, give me a no-name person. Like, it's not making life any better by randomly, someone else in the Star Wars universe. No one, again, Star Wars blew up with no-name people and fell in love with the story and the characters. I think they're losing sight. Like, you could put 50 million stars with lightsabers. It's not going to save the franchise.
Star Wars could be a hotbed for no-name actors because, like Seven just said, it was Mark Hamill prior to Star Wars was not a no-name, but he was still on the come-up. Harrison Ford was still a young face in Hollywood when he did Star Wars.
Right.
Same thing with Princess Leia. What was her name? Late actor.
Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher. She was like known, but they weren't. They were still on the come-up. Star Wars nowadays could be that spot where you fish for new and fresh talent. People who are hungry, people who have a certain style. Right. The whole team that they got to do the fight choreography for that Acolyte thing, keep them, and then make that series about basically just the fresh faces, the newbies.
Right.
Be you a Jedi, be you a Stormtrooper, keep that action
and
team.
Production-wise, you'll save a lot of money.
Well, production-wise, also figure out how fire looks in space, because Acolyte couldn't do that either. But
oh my goodness.
It's Star Wars. It should be a hotbed for fresh-faced actors. That's all I'm saying. And it's like when you have Jenna Ortega in it, and you got who's one I actually did enjoy.
One more before we go. Lauren Fishburne wants to play Charles Xavier. You guys co-sign on that?
I'm not against it, but they're not going to go through with that. They're not going to do it. They're not. That's a no-go. I'm open to the interpretation because we've seen crazier stuff, but that's a no-go.
I don't think he makes a good Charles Xavier, if I'm being honest.
He'd be better used as a different character in the Marvel universe too, to back up Corey. He's kind of wasted as Charles Xavier.
And at that note, that's interesting. So, all right, you heard it here first. You're watching GEEKCASTER. Woohoo! Oh boy, I love it. There's no chill on this show.
Well, our freestyle episodes, particularly, we'll be all over the map, but it's fun. But it's fun.
We'll see, and I agree. Like, it's time to give people a shot. Also, because we're constantly. I don't want to run out of time too much, but we're constantly comparing other people to their work. But if you keep throwing us names, now we're like, well, we want to understand why you casted this person.
There's an expectation,
right? So, all right,
there's no room for surprise. It's just expectation.